Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about exactly why Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb needs to be thrown out of office and into Ohio prison for the rest of his fucking life, really, for a shitload of crimes he's committed already, including deprivation of law, including oath breaking like a motherfucker, etc., etc. I basically have said since this asshole won election in Cleveland a couple years back now, he should have never been allowed to assume office. He was the worst. Like, seriously, how the fuck do you pick the worst possible choice out of two Democrats, dude? That's a serious question to Cleveland voters right now, dude. How do you pick the worst person out of the two? Like, Kevin Kelly was a piece of shit too, but or Klein, I think that's what his name actually is. Kevin Klein. That dude was a piece of shit too, but at least he wasn't fucking scumbag Bibb level shit, dude. Like, seriously. Hell, Frank Jackson was a horrible fucking mayor for like 18 years or something like that, which, by the way, he should have been thrown out after like 2 terms is what it was. Or actually it might have been more like 12 to 14 or something like that. It was a long ass time. I just know Jackson was like 3-4 terms in what it was by the time he finally left the office, though. That dude was a terrible mayor too, man. But at least he wasn't fucking retard Bibb level. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the sad part of it is, man. You pick a mayor who is worse than the previous mayor by a fucking lot, dude. And you wonder why people like me question these people having voting rights ever again in this country. By the way, these happen to be the same people up there in Cleveland County area. They're the same dumbasses trying to mass murder the unborn right now because they're the ones that signed on the most for abortion and stuff like that, for that abortion amendment come November. And it's like, Jesus Christ, people. For those wondering what we're talking about today, obviously, I was watching Langley Outdoors Academy last night. I usually don't pay attention to Cleveland news or Columbus news or Cincinnati news for that matter, because it's all Democrat shitholes is what it is, unless it pops up in my feed someplace, you know, whether it be me scrolling on Reddit or something like that and just happen to see it in like one of the subreddits or something, or, you know, jump on Twitter and I happen to see like Cleveland or Columbus trending or something like that. I usually click on it to see what's going on there. But usually I don't pay attention to the major city violence in this state right now, dude. And there's a reason for that. Because of the fact that it's not worth paying attention to. Because it's all Democrat-created shit is what it is, dude. And it's all these fucking horrible-ass people, these horrible-ass Democrat fucking politicians that refuse to actually enforce the rule of law in the state, in this country, that want to bitch and moan and babble on some more about like, oh no, it's the gun's fault. It's the gun that magically became fucking not an inanimate object and went on a killing spree by itself. That doesn't fucking happen, dude. The people you need to be blaming are the assholes behind that firearm, the fucking scumbags that kind of look like you, Justin Bibb, almost 100% of the fucking time out there in Cleveland, buddy. You know, it's the same pieces of shit that you have fucking, when you have pieces of garbage like Stephanie House playing the fucking race card every chance she got in the state house a couple years back now, or Janine Boyd, or any of these fucking idiot, you know, Democrat females is what it is, dude. Because you can never actually speak the truth. And the truth of the matter is you're a fucking horrible, horrible civil servant in this country. You are a piece of shit, absolute fucking garbage that has no business being in office right now. You are some of the worst fucking people to ever hold elected office in this state or this country. And you refuse to just admit you're the fucking failure from the top down, because if you actually admitted that, you know damn well that the people of the good area of Cleveland would have every legal right to recall your fucking dumbass. As they should be right now, honestly, for the crap you're pulling right now, Justin Bibb. And I'm saying it to everybody else, too, for that matter. Whether it be that dumb bitch Stephanie House in the fucking Cleveland City Council now, whether it be any of these other fucking idiots that have been in office and are still in office right now in various places. So, anyway, we got a bunch of stories we're going to talk about here now. So, first and foremost, we have what kicked this all off, which is basically either a gang initiation or, you know, some other like beef between fucking rival gangs, probably is what it was, up there in Cleveland over the weekend. And you end up having Cleveland residents react to, quote, mass shooting that injured 9 people. Not a mass shooting, dude. Does not qualify as a mass shooting at all. The fact that you have the mainstream media qualifying this as mass shooting is absolute bullshit, dude. First and foremost, the original definition of a mass shooting was 4 or more dead, not including the gunman, by the way. It was 4 or more dead and a bunch of people injured. Then they lowered the standards to where it had to be 3 or more dead, including the gunman, plus a bunch of people injured. And that qualified as mass shooting after that. That was a couple years back now. Then after that, because it still didn't qualify as mass shootings when they had these gang violence and stuff like that, then they lowered it to basically 3 or more shot. And now that's why you have this label as mass shooting, dude, even though it's not. What it was is it was a bunch of people hanging out at a fucking club at 2:30 in the morning, walking out of a club at 2:30 in the morning, and getting fucking open fire on by some piece of shit who was clearly waiting for them. Most likely a targeted hit is my guess, honestly. Given the fact that I've paid attention to people enough in the state right now, and especially after watching, our good friends at AK Nation News enough, that dude calls it like it is, man. And knowing what I've personally seen here and listening to that dude's take on things and stuff for the last year or two, I can tell you right now, 100% dude, this was 100% black on black crime. There's no way it wasn't. That's number one. And mostly that's because of the demographics of Cleveland. Let me point that out. So 100% black on black crime, 100% son on, black guys and stuff like that, black gals, whatever the case be. And then secondly, like I said, and especially going back to Langley Outdoors and stuff like that, most likely some fucking young punk asses who didn't even have legal right to carry in the state opening fire on the crowd. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever the fuck the case is, dude. Hell, could have been 9 or 10-year-olds for that matter anymore. Because these kids seem to be getting younger and younger anymore. And that's the problem, right? And this is the biggest issue with scumbag mayors like Justin Bibb. Instead of actually, looking at the root cause and trying to find a solution to the root cause, which the root cause in many cases, especially up there in Cleveland, is fatherless homes 100% of the time. Just like it is all around the state of Ohio, for that matter, and most of this country, for that matter. When you look at most of the gang mentality going on in this nation right now, it's all people, it's all young males usually from broken homes is what it is. And if it's not young males, it's young females then. But they're almost always from fatherless homes entirely. They have no dad in the house. They have no father figure at all in their lives. And so what do? They go towards a gang and they find a fucking gang and look for a father figure in the gang, whether it be the gang leader, whether it be one of the older people in the gang, maybe a cousin or something like that. And that is exactly where we are right now in this country's history. And it is exactly why I've talked about this continuously, because this is the problem. Nobody is actually doing their fucking job to enact the right fucking solutions to the problem right now, which is addressing fatherless homes 100%. If you did that, you would cut down on so much of this shit across the board, man. If nothing else, go open community centers and have fucking actual dudes there to give these kids somebody to look up to as a fucking role model, for God's sakes. That would solve a lot of the fucking problems right now. But nobody's doing that. At least not in the state of Ohio anyway, as far as I'm aware of. And this is the entire problem. And when you look across the board, across this entire country, it's the same thing across the country for the most part. There might be 1 or 2 here and there, but it's not like a mass scale thing. It's like one guy or one gal or whatever the case be, or like a husband and wife couple or something like that, opening up something like that in like one city across this entire country is what it is. And so you have like one city or one, suburb, whatever it is, out of like 1,000. And it's like, yeah, dude, that's a drop in the fucking bucket is the problem. And this is the issue. It's like, no, look at that as an actual pilot program and do that across the fucking board, and you're not going to have random ass gang fucking shootings like this all the time. And I'm going to point something out. The fact that the gunman in this case is still on the fucking loose, we know damn well this motherfucker wouldn't carry it legally, dude. 100%. 100% he wouldn't carry it legally, dude. But anyway, going back to this first article here, it said, Cleveland residents have voiced major concerns following Sunday morning's, I'm going to call it what it is, gang shooting that injured 9 people. The shooting occurred on the 1200 block of West 6th Street in downtown Cleveland around 2:30 a.m. An unknown gunman opened fire on a group of people, literally coming out of a club, by the way. Says one resident recalled the horror after hearing about the shooting. It's terrifying, one woman said. You just think you're out having a good time, and the worst thing you can think is going to happen is a hangover. You're not thinking you're going to be you're going to lose your life. The warehouse district in Cleveland is popular for those who are in Cleveland, as well as those who come from out of town. I don't live in the area, another woman said. Now I really don't feel safe. So here's the problem with that, right? You have people who live in a constitutional carry state. The problem with that being the fact that you have these bars, these nightclubs, etc., where you can't legally carry into them. It's the exact same shit we saw with Dayton almost 4 years ago now. You know, it'll be roughly a month from now, will be the 4th anniversary of Dayton right now. That piece of shit that committed Dayton, that Antifa terrorist that committed Dayton, knew damn well he was going to be the only person armed that night, because every person that was walking into that bar could not legally be armed in the state of Ohio if they're going to be in a liquor establishment. And that is the fucking problem across the board. Your gun rights, your Second Amendment rights should not be infringed upon simply because you're going to walk into a bar or a nightclub. You should be able to legally carry in these places in case something like that does happen. So you can actually have the ability to shoot back and take out the fucking threat. And that is a big issue right now. You know, it's the same thing we look at with Columbus and stuff a lot of the times, dude. When you look at the main problems down there with all the violence and shit, and all the fucking, you know, gangbang and everything else like that, where does it happen? It happens right next to Ohio State's campus, that, by the way, is a giant gun-free zone. It's just like the exact same thing with these clubs. They're gun-free zones. When you're creating a soft target, all you're doing is saying to any potential criminal out there, hey, come kill us in this fucking place, and you're going to be having a big-ass body count. That's exactly what they're telling these people every single time. It's exactly why we need to ban gun-free zones in this country across the fucking board. That is another solution, by the way, right now, to solving this problem. So anyway, going to the second article I want to talk about here. This is basically, this is various people reacting to the shooting here. Northeast Ohio figures react to downtown Cleveland shooting. Says notable figures from across Ohio made their voices heard Sunday after Sunday's shooting in downtown Cleveland that injured 9 people. And then it talks about Cleveland Cavaliers voicing their thing, and then a bunch of other dumbasses. I'm trying to figure out who's saying some of this stupid shit, dude. Oh yeah, this is that idiot Justin Bibb's dumbass fucking statement. Here's what it is for most of this shit. And then we got Chantel Brown's dumbass voicing her stupid shit here in the second one. And then Cleveland City Council people. And then, of course, that moron, Sherrod Brown, trying to push his anti-gun bullshit. By the way, that fucker's up for re-election next year. We need to vote his ass out of office completely. In fact, I'm gonna go Sherrod Brown shit right now on camera, dude. Because fuck this fucking guy. Too many Ohio families are grieving lost loved ones or wounded this morning. We owe it to them to pass reasonable gun safety laws. Okay, then why don't you repeal gun-free zones, asshole? As you guys saw what I threw down there. I told Sherrod to like it is, man. I said either ban gun-free zones or shut your fucking mouth, you cheating piece of shit. Because y'all know that motherfucker cheated back in 2018 to get in office again. And I'll leave it at that. And, of course, you got dumbass Terrence Upchurch, who voiced his thing. Got every town for gun safety, claiming gun violence crap again. Oh, and, of course, what do they put on the bottom of this? Talking about all the shit they're trying to push through right now, including extreme risk protection orders, aka red flag laws, are unconstitutional. Prohibit negligent firearm storage, aka safe storage laws. exempt sales of firearms safety devices from sales and use tax, which, by the way, it doesn't just give you fucking like free gun safes and stuff like that. You actually have to go for the credit is what it is on that stuff. So, and I've talked about that before. Actually, no, I'm sorry. There's 2 different ones on that one. There's that one that actually is doing away with taxation on safes and stuff like that. But again, you still have to have the money to buy a safe is what it is, dude. It's not like they're just going to give you the money. And then, of course, you got required gun trigger locks with firearm sales, which as we've talked about before, you dumb fucking idiot leftists in the state house. Every single gun comes with a gun lock that is a handgun in this country. You know what doesn't come with gun locks? A bunch of stolen fucking firearms that a lot of these criminals love to go break into fucking businesses and steal. And then sell to other fucking criminals on the damn streets is what it is. It's not, this is the thing, dude. It's not law-abiding citizens. It's not actual peaceful gunners in this state that are buying their guns legally that are the ones going and committing these fucking massacres. It's these fucking criminal-ass, punk-ass kids, in many cases, who are under the age of 21, for God's sakes, who can't even legally buy a fucking handgun in the state, let alone be over the age of 18 to go buy one in a fucking private sale, for God's sakes. No, what you fucking cocksuckers want is you want goddamn dystopian, Hitlerian level fucking bullshit because you want your damn gun registries, you want your damn gun rosters, and you want to have people fucked over, and it's exactly why you fucking cunts are also trying to pass this bullshit, House Bill 218 by Darrell Brewer and Terrence Upchurch, restore local authority to generally regulate firearms conduct, aka breaking state preemption because you fucking dickless fuckboys can't do your fucking jobs at an actual city level, like that piece of shit Justin Bibb can do his fucking job right now, to actually enforce rule of fucking law and actually get enough Cleveland cops on the fucking streets right now to do their damn job to actually enforce the fucking rule of law there, because you dumb fucking assholes 3 fucking years ago decided it was a good fucking idea to sit here and say, let's defund the fucking cops for fucking goddamn a year and a half or whatever the fucking case be, and you wonder why people are getting shit on now for trying to go into law enforcement, you dickheads. And you wonder why people are like, fuck this, I'm not going to go into your fucking stupid ass city, when you're not even paying a good enough fucking rate, dude, for God's sakes. Like, seriously, you got Cleveland that basically barely fucking pays anything for cops is what it is there. And then you got places all around Ohio that are paying double, triple, quadruple in some cases, the same fucking amount of money to be there in a safer area, by the way, for God's sakes. It's not going to be some shithole fucking city in Cleveland area. It's going to be some decent, like, outskirt area where it's just like a local PD or whatever the case be, and you're just sitting there at a fucking desk 90% of the time on your shift, and maybe you get like 4 or 5 calls throughout the entire shift instead of like, you know, phones ring out the fucking hook and you're out there in every single call every single 5 minutes is what it is, man. So, anyway. I also like to point out, by the way, that it was on fucking dickhead Justin Bibb's watch, actually, that officer Shane Bartak was murdered by some piece of shit bitch who should have already been in fucking Ohio prison as a fucking adult, by the way, for like 4 other felonies she committed as a 16 and 17-year-old kid. But yet she was allowed out because she was charged as a fucking juvenile in many of those cases, instead of being charged as an actual adult at 17 years old. And then she went and murdered a fucking cop. It's just so infuriating. It really is, man. But yeah, none of this shit's gonna change anything, dude. Not red flag laws, not fucking safe storage laws, not fucking no sales tax on safes and stuff, not requiring fucking trigger locks on firearm sales, and sure as shit not fucking breaking state preemption. It's all just a bunch of worthless dumbasses that need to be thrown out of office right now, dude, because they're all oath breakers entirely. And like I said, it was up to me right now. Deprivation of rights under color of law would be a first-degree felony in the state of Ohio. I would personally go arrest half these fucking people myself right now if it was. Because that's the problem right now. When it's a misdemeanor crime in all 50 states right now, we, the people, do not have the ability to go in there with a pair of handcuffs and slap them on these fucking people's wrists right now. If it was a felony, we'd have that right to do that, man. We'd be able to citizens arrest these cocksuckers for doing this oath-breaking shit. And then, of course, moving down the line on that one, going back to piece of shit Justin Bibb here. This was a few hours ago. This came up. Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb blasts state concealed carry law following mass shooting. Ohio having constitutional carry had nothing to do with this fucking shooting, you fucking retard. Period. End of story. You're such a fucking dumb fuck, Justin Bibb. That's exactly why you need to be thrown out of office right now, dude. Like, seriously, this dude is 36 years old, for God's sakes. He is 2 years younger than I am. And he is one of the dumbest pieces of shit I've ever seen in my entire life, dude. Yeah, so following Sunday's shooting that injured 9 people, Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb took note to put the state's concealed carry laws on notice. So during Sunday afternoon's press conference, Bibb said that the shooting is due to Senate Bill 215. Oh my, I'm about to just fucking smack the shit out of this dude, man. I swear to fucking God. Like, I'm to that point right now of just beating this dude's ass, honestly, dude. And it needs to happen, honestly. Now, granted, would I really drive up to Cleveland to do that? No, I would not. That's the entire point, dude. But seriously, the cops in Cleveland need to arrest Justin Bibb right now, dude. For that alone, dude. The guy is a piece of fucking shit liar. He is a complete fucking scumbag. And he honestly needs to get smacked across the face right now by somebody in a uniform before he gets arrested. To sit there and try to blame Senate Bill 215, aka concealed carry, or sorry, constitutional carry, is absolute bullshit, Bibb. You are a fucking sack of shit, motherfucker. And you need to be thrown out of office over this shit. You're an oath-breaking, fucking deprivation of rights causing sack of fucking crap, dude. Anyway, it says the bill, which went into effect June 13th, 2022, granted Ohio citizens over the age of 21 the ability to carry without a permit. You know what that doesn't mention, though, by the way? You also have to have a clean criminal record. You cannot have any felonies on your record, dude. Which I guarantee you, this motherfucker, when they catch them up there in Cleveland, number one, probably isn't going to be over 21. Number two, probably already has fucking felonies on their record under the age of 21. So, you know, I'm going to pre-call this shit out right now. And it is exactly why I'm going to call out Justin Bibb's ass here pretty fucking soon when they catch this person that did this shooting. Hopefully they'll catch him anyway. And when they do catch him, hopefully, I can actually be right about things and be able to call Justin Bibb out on his fucking lies right here, dude. Yeah. Constitutional carry had nothing to do with this jackass. Criminals are going to criminal no matter what. You are just an oath-breaking piece of shit, Justin Bibb, who is trying to pass the fucking buck onto the legal ability for citizens to be armed in the state against your fucking criminal element instead of blaming these fucking criminal-ass, punk-ass bitches you keep letting back on the fucking streets because you're a fucking worthless piece of shit mayor, dude. And that's the entire problem right now. Anyway. Taking on here, it said, across the state from Cleveland to Columbus to Cincinnati, we've seen an uptick in shootings across the state, Bibb said. Yeah. And guess what, buddy? Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, all three major cities run by Democrats, including yourself, you fucking clown. Cleveland, run by Justin Bibb. Columbus, run by Andrew Ginther. Cincinnati, run by whoever the fuck the Democrat was that took over for that idiot John Crenley after he ran for governor and failed last year. I don't know what that guy's name is now. It's some fucking like Indian guy or something, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I'm not even sure if I can pronounce that guy's name. Now I'm thinking about it because it's some random foreign national basically that took over as Cincinnati's mayor that's still a Democrat. And it's like, yeah, dude. And then you go back again 3 years, buddy. 3 years. 3 years ago. Y'all were fucking doing rioting in the streets of the state of Ohio, dude. And you want to sit here and blame law-abiding citizens now, dude. 100% BLM and Antifa terrorists that you fucking supported, asshole. Fuck you, Justin Bibb. Anyway. He said, well, the bill passed both State House and Senate, respectively. Lawmakers such as douchebag Casey Weinstein, who became a hoax himself, by the way, a month after I was federally swatted. So that would be 4 years ago this September. Casey Weinstein committed a hoax himself. Found the law as something he could not agree with. Well, yeah, when you're sitting there being an oath-breaking fucking cunt and passing unconstitutional mag bans, or trying to anyway, literally committing a tyrant meme hoax against yourself, buddy, so that you can be like, oh, look, these people are fucking committing they're committing hate against me as a lawmaker and saying I should be killed because I'm pushing anti-gun laws. Yeah, right, dude. You put the fucking memes in your own mailbox, dickhead, and then you literally 3 days later sold the fucking shit on a buy-sell trade site on Facebook. He actually did that, by the way. It was like that Monday morning, whatever. He found the memes in his fucking mailbox. He put in there Sunday night, and then it was that Thursday or something like that. He was selling the fucking printer on a buy-sell trade site on Facebook, dude. You actually have digital evidence of this shit, by the way, and the fact that in almost 4 years' time now, the FBI hasn't looked into this, the fucking local police haven't looked into this, the state police haven't looked into this, is absolutely fucking atrocious. Because it's like, this guy is a fucking hate-hoaxing piece of shit. He is an actual felony fucking criminal at a federal level, by the way, because he's misusing the U.S. Postal Service, but yet he's still sitting in State House right now in 2023. It's fucking flabbergasting to me, dude. It really is. And what's even worse now is, then you got fucking dickhead Jason Stevens, who is the current Speaker of the House, who only got in there because of the fucking 32-ass Democrats, including Casey Weinstein's bitch ass, who got him into the fucking speakership there, who is now talking about Republican Bob Young needs to resign because apparently Bob Young was recently hit with domestic violence charges for smacking somebody in his family or something like that after Jason Stevens left his house that night after some fundraiser thing. And it's like, that sounds pretty fucking fishy. Maybe it was actually Jason Stevens that smacked somebody in the face is what it was, dude. And then try to blame it on Young. Because why would Jason Stevens want Bob Young to resign from office, by the way? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because Ohio doesn't actually have special elections to replace our state representatives. So you're going to have some fucking Jason Stevens stooge piece of shit in that position then after Bob Young gets thrown out is what it is. That's exactly what Jason Stevens is trying to do. He's trying to solidify his own bullshit power is what it is here, man. And that's exactly why I'm about to Article 162 his fucking ass out of office right now. That's how pissed off I am currently. So anyway, let's see. Continue on here. It said, dipshit Casey Weinstein said, it's incredibly frustrating. It's sad. And ultimately, I think it's damning in terms of not only inaction from the legislator, but active steps from Republicans in the legislature are taking to make problems worse. Fuck you, Casey, you fucking cunt. Gunman and Sunday shooting is still on the loose, obviously. Like, you are such a fucking sack of shit, Weinstein. And of course, like, what does Casey Weinstein do every fucking time he gets a chance, by the way? Oh, yeah, he sits there and plays the fucking cards, dude. He plays the daily politics cards every time. I'm a Jewish lawmaker in the state of Ohio. He always plays that shit, by the way. Every fucking time, dude. He always wants to play the fucking card. Every single time, man. It's so fucking frustrating, man. It really is. And then, like we said with the thing a minute ago there, the next article we're talking about here, Cleveland mass shooting, gunman still on the loose. It says story contains video playback and whatever. It's a gunman responsible for hospitalizing 9 people on Sunday outside the warehouse district shooting. Still on the loose, according to Detective Sergeant Jennifer Soria, previously said around 2:30 a.m. Person opened fire, so the gunman opened fire on a group of people, which led to 9 people being taken to the Metro Health Medical Center for gunshot wounds. And actually, here's the breakdown of the whole thing of where people were shot. 23-year-old man with a gunshot wound to the forearm, non-life-threatening. 29-year-old man with a gunshot wound to the leg, depending on where in the leg, non-life-threatening, unless it was like femoral artery area. 26-year-old man with gunshot wounds to his wrist and lower body, so most likely non-life-threatening. 24-year-old woman with gunshot wounds to both feet. So she got shot in like the foot, ankle area probably, so non-life-threatening. 38-year-old man with a gunshot wound to the leg, again, depending if it's femoral artery or not, it's non-life-threatening. 23-year-old woman with a gunshot wound to the knee, again, non-life-threatening. 27-year-old man with gunshot wounds to the legs, non-life-threatening most likely. 26-year-old man with gunshot wound to his leg, again, probably non-life-threatening, depending on unless it's femoral artery. And then 24-year-old man with gunshot wound to the knee. You know, it kind of makes me wonder, actually. Glock switches. We all know they exist, right? We all know they're illegal as fuck in this country. It seems to be something that all these gangbangers tend to use. And that's why they just sit there and spray and pray. And it actually makes sense why you would have these people shot in the lower extremities and stuff like that, and not like the chest or head or whatever the case be. Because if you're sitting there shooting a Glock and it's like, and you can't control the shit, obviously, it's going to spray everywhere. And most of the time, the bullets are going to go downward trajectory is what it is. especially depending on how you're holding it. If you're already holding it like downward trajectory and stuff like that, it's going to go lower half of your body is what it's going to be. So, yeah, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if this piece of shit gunman here had a Glock with an illegal switch on it, dude. So, homeboy's already possibly committing a felony based on that alone, just for the Glock switch alone. Secondly, probably with a stolen firearm. I'm just going to make that assumption right now. So that'd be 2 felonies right there. And then most likely was under the age of 21 to even buy a gun in this state. So 3 felonies. Probably had, like I said, it was stolen firearms, so that would be back to the second one again. So you're talking about at least 2 to 3 felonies anyway that this person already committing right there by just having that firearm potentially. But, oh yeah, it's the concealed carry laws, right, Justin Bibb? No, it's not, you fucking clown-ass bitch. It's you fucking being a piece of shit, do-nothing, fucking asshole, piece of fucking garbage Democrat politician in the state of Ohio who wants to sit there and blame firearms and the Second Amendment, something that you, sir, swore an oath to uphold the day you took office when you swore an oath to the U.S. Constitution, and something you have broken your oath on many, 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 many times already in the last couple of years you've been in office right now, you fucking douchebag. And it's exactly why you need to resign from office right now, dude. Or be thrown out. One of the two. I don't really care which happens. Either one. Bibb needs to be gone. Period. In the story. And what's interesting there is that you have that one saying it was 9 people that were injured in all these stories in the last couple hours, but then you have Cleveland.com supposedly reporting that it was 12 people injured, and then Bibb blasts Ohio legislators who push weak gun laws. No. Constitutional carry is a very strong pro-gun law, you fucking dickhead. What is a weak gun law is red flag laws. What is a weak gun law is universal background checks. What is a weak gun law is safe storage. What is a weak gun law is mandatory mag bans. Or magazine capacity limits, I should say on that one. What are unconstitutional is all 4 of the things I just mentioned. What is Hitlerian is all 4 of the things I just mentioned, because you are stopping actual law-abiding citizens in this state from being able to enact their legally carried and legally concealed weaponry against criminals. All you're doing when you're trying to repeal, and by the way, these are also the same fuck nuggets that want to repeal stand your ground all the time, dude. They're sitting there actively saying, hey, criminals of Ohio, we want to give you guys better ability to be better criminals in the state of Ohio by repealing stuff instead of actually allowing a level playing field of armed citizen versus criminal. But this is the Democrat Party in a nutshell, dude, because who do they protect? Criminals. Who does BLM protect? On video a couple years ago, BLM chanting, who do we protect? Black criminals. Literally, they said that shit in one of these shootings back in 2020. And it was some gangbanger who was on the fucking loose that day. I forget what state it was in, like Tennessee or Kentucky or something like that, maybe. And they were going out there on the road and saying they would protect black criminals. These are these people, man, in a nutshell. They are the biggest fucking clown asses in this entire country right now. And they want to sit there and try to blame legal gun ownership in this country and the state for their own fucking failures as mayors, as city council members, as governors, as state representatives, as state senators, etc., as federal representation in the U.S. Senate or the U.S. Congress. It's a bunch of shit, dude, entirely. And I'm fucking sick of it. I'm calling it out, dude. I'm calling it out as much as I can. Because fuck all these fucking people, dude. But we are going to read a little bit of this Cleveland.com record because I want to call it Bibb's ass one more time, at least in this. Yes, in the statement, Bibb said he fears, we likely will continue to see incidents like this occur unless change is made at the State House. No, we won't, dumbass. What we're going to see is your dumbass having this shit in your fucking shithole Democrat-run hell pocket of Cleveland and nowhere else. Unless it's in Columbus or Cincinnati or Dayton or Toledo or any of the other fucking Democrat-run hellholes in this fucking state is what it is, dude. Yes, as Bibb orders came after 9 people were injured in a shooting at 2:30 a.m. 3 others were injured in a separate attack. Okay, that's what it was. No arrests have been made in either one of them. Of course they haven't been doing, because again, you don't actually have things set up to do the shit, dude. Yeah, so Bibb lambasted Republicans in Columbus for pushing weak gun laws. We continue to see an uptick in shootings across our city ever since Republican lawmakers passed Senate Bill 215 last year allowing permitless carry. No, you haven't, you fucking prick. What you have seen is a decrease in every rural area in the past year and some change right now, outside of the major cities, and you have these Democrat fucking shitholes like your fucking Cleveland, Justin Bibb, that want to keep enacting bullshit anti-gun legislation and breaking state preemption in the process, by the way, to allow armed citizens to be disarmed because you're a bunch of dickless fucking cowards, is what it is. And so you'll sit there and you'll try to fuck with people's gun rights, and then you want to sit there and blame constitutional carry when it had nothing to do with the shit, dude. No, what had to do with this shit was a fucking bunch of asshole punks that looked very much in the same skin tone as your ass, bitch. And yet you don't want to actually call it out for what it is, man. You don't want to call it this black on black shooting for what the fuck it actually is. And you know damn well that area, there's no fucking way, the downtown district there, that there's not cameras everywhere, dude. You cannot sit there and seriously tell me that there isn't video fucking footage everywhere of this gunman coming in there, dude. And it being some fucking minority kid. Or a couple minority kids for that matter. Like I said, most likely with a fucking Glock with a switch on it, which was already multiple felonies right there, dude. If they were under the age of 21. Because you have to be over 21, number one, to be able to carry constitutionally in the state. And number two, you actually have to be a non-fucking criminal to be able to legally carry in the state under constitutional carry laws. So don't even sit here for a second and try to sit here and claim that it was constitutional carry that caused this shit, Bibb, when none of that had to do with anything in this, and you're just trying to sit there and blame the gun for the problem of the fucking criminal that you refuse to actually lock the fuck up, you fucking douchebag. And then continuing on with Bibb's stupid ass statement here. It's important we recognize this and hold these lawmakers accountable for passing dangerous gun laws in our state. As a result, mayors cannot pass one piece of legislation aimed at gun reform. We all know you're a globalist cunt for George Soros, dude. Just admit you're sucking Soros and Alex Soros' dicks at this point, bro. Seriously. We already know you're a fuck nugget for those assholes, dude. We already know that you're in fucking Bloomberg's pocket, you fucking cunt. We already know that if it wasn't for Michael Bloomberg, your bitch ass wouldn't even be in the fucking mayorship right now, Justin Bibb, because I can actually tell you right now, I've looked into Bibb's financial records from the whenever the fuck he got in office. I forget if it was 2021 or 2022 or there as mayor. I think it was the end of 2021 is where he got in the mayor's race there. I've looked into this guy's financial records. He 100% has every town fucking covering his ass, dude. They're pretty much the main campaign donator for his fucking campaign there. So don't sit here and try to fucking tell me that this is any kind of bipartisan bullshit, dude. You are 100% bought and paid for by the anti-gun fuckboys at every town, at Mom's Demand, at Giffords, etc., buddy. So fuck you, Justin Bibb, you anti-gun fuckknuckle. No. It is not dangerous to have constitutional carry for people to arm themselves against the criminal element that you refuse to arrest, asshole. It's your fucking problem for not arresting the fucking criminals in this state, you fucking douchebag. You don't have to pass anti-gun laws to fucking sit here and do stuff, you dickhead. You can easily get things done the right way with actually arresting criminals and keeping them locked the fuck up. You can actually arrest pieces of shit like that Mosley girl who killed Justin Bartak a couple years ago. I think it was actually about a year ago now, give or take, because it was, I want to say, end of the last year, beginning of this year, maybe even. So we're doing a year now. Yeah, you could actually arrest pieces of shit like that, 16, 17-year-old teenagers, and charge them as adults when they're committing felony fucking robberies of pizza joints and places like that before they go commit murder of a fucking cop, dude. That is what that girl did, by the way. Before she killed Shane Bartak, she was out there fucking with 4 or 5 other people gang robbing a fucking pizza joint. That was one of the multiple felonies she committed before that, dude. But yet she was still charged as a juvenile. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? This is the problem, dude. You're not charging these fucking piece of shit ass teenagers as the fucking adults that they are when they're committing adult fucking crimes, buddy. No, it's not the fucking gun's fault. It's the fucking punk ass criminals' fault for doing this shit. And then what really pisses me off is, and we're going to finish this off with this today, going after all the anti-gun shit here. Got to bring up issue 1 again, dude, because all the fucking leftists keep doing it on Ohio subreddit is what it is. So you have them bitching and moaning about separation of church and state because somebody put out a flyer there at one of the churches and for issue 1. And you had these douchebags talking about democracies, which are not a fucking democracy, never happened. We've been a constitutional republic since 1776, bitches. And as you had this guy who got downvoted to oblivion here say, America wasn't set up to be majority rule because our founding fathers correctly saw it as a mob rule. The government was set up to protect the minority from the majority, not vice versa. We live in a republic, not a democracy. With your attitude, you are only helping to facilitate a civil war that you will lose badly. To which he's talking to this person here that said, there won't be a democracy. It'll be fascism and rule by minority. Republicans need removed from all elected offices. Again, and this is why I've talked many times on this channel of, I believe truthfully in the next 5 months, if not very beginning of 2024, we're going to be in a full-blown hot civil war in this country, dude. I would not be the least surprised if that happened. And it's because of shit like that right there. It's these leftists that just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. It's these pieces of shit like Justin Bibb that just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and oath breaking and not being removed from office over it for deprivation of the law, etc. And they are pushing us to the brink now where it's going to be a revolt against their asses, dude, very soon. You know, I've talked about it before. I've talked about the analogy before where it's, you know, you got the powder keg, you get all the powder in the fucking room and stuff like that. And it's just a keg ready to blow is what it is. And you got the guy over in the fucking corner smoking a cigar and stuff like that. You got that lit ash breaking out the cigar and stuff like that. Still, you know, flying through the air all lit and everything. And it's hit that fucking powder. And it's just sizzling, baby. It's just sizzling. Going up to that big old bunch of kegs that are full of gunpowder. They're just going to blow as soon as it hits them. And we are coming so close to that every fucking day. And nobody's walking over and knocking it loose or whatever to separate the gunpowder from the unlit gunpowder from the lit gunpowder. And I think that's the problem right now, is we could easily just do away with that shit if we knock that stuff out. And knocking that stuff out, by the way, would be a bunch of wins for us in the Second Amendment here, which would be completely banning the NFA, completely banning gun-free zones, doing away with the GC of 68, doing away with the Hughes Amendment of 86, all that stuff like that. And then on top of that, you actually have American citizens having the right across the board at this point in all 50 states to actually be able to constitutionally carry. Because that, I think, would be a big game changer after all that. And not only that, you would also have, again, across the board federally, it would be a stand your ground law nationwide. And that would be solutions to actually fixing things. On top of all that, while we're doing all that stuff, you start dealing and addressing the fatherless homes issue. When you actually deal with men and you have them be back in the homes again, and you have these guys stepping up as community leaders and stuff like that to actually be there for the kids, whether it be at community centers or someplace else for that matter, you know, taking them to a park, hanging out in the park, doing something at the park, whatever the case be, you know, being a father figure, being a role model for them in the communities and stuff like that. You're going to have a lot of these kids go back to the straight and narrow. You're not going to have them sway over to the fucking gangs is what it is, man. And that's the problem right now. I remember I was watching something like a week or two ago, going back to AK Nation News there. It was something on his channel there. And they were talking about, I forget which state it was in. It was in some city in some state, not in Ohio. And it was, they were talking to this guy that started this program at some community center there. And you had this kid who was like 10 or 11 years old, specifically stating to the camera crew and the reporters that were asking the questions, if it wasn't for this, I would be in a gang. The fact that you have that one thing separating a kid, an 11-year-old child, from going down a path of criminality is absolutely disgusting. The fact that there is only that one single fucking thing, that after school program, that, you know, community center for him to go to and hang out and have an actual father figure there to discuss his problems with. That's the only thing separating him from going down a criminal gang lifestyle. It's fucking retarded, dude. It is absolutely fucking retarded to think how close that kid is to being a criminal. And yet nobody is addressing these root causes. Because why would they? Oh, they can just sit there as their Democrats and just run on the fucking shit. Oh, we'll protect you from the criminals again that we're creating. Just vote us in for 2 or 4 more years now, or 6 more years now, depending if you're running for, you know, a House or a Senate seat or whatever the case be. Or as a state senator or whatever it is there, or governor even for that matter. It's like, oh no, just vote us in for another term, baby. And we'll totally do everything we need to save your asses. We'll put safety as our priority, even though we're stripping you of your fucking constitutional rights while we're doing that bullshit. You know, it was one of the founding fathers. I can't remember offhand which one it was offhand right now. But I think it was Ben Franklin, who said, you know, those who would give up liberty for safety deserve neither. And he's right about that one. I think that's how it went. And that's the problem right now. You have so many fucking people sitting in power right now that are just selling us down the fucking river currently and trying to take away our constitutional rights, dude. And I'm sick and tired of it. I really am. And it's why I'll call out pieces of shit like Justin Bibb right here on the spot, dude. Like, honestly, I'm to the point where I just want to fight these people. Like, seriously, just like fucking have mutual combat in the state of Ohio. And I would just challenge these fuckers to actual fucking fistfights and stuff like that, dude. And if I beat them, I take their job. At least one of them anyway. Because right there, I think that would solve a lot of problems in our state right now. Here in Ohio. Of course, there are a bunch of pussies who never actually agree to mutual combat or trial by combat or whatever the case be. Because they know they'd lose badly to people. So, yeah, that's the real problem right now. But, anyway. Although we do have Article 1, Section 2 in the Ohio Constitution, which is good because we're going to use that very soon to do with people and stuff like that. So, anyway. Just to be clear, throughout this entire episode, I was not threatening anyone, Fed boys that may or may not be watching this episode right now. Don't even try to fucking federally swap me again, bitches, because I will have a lawyer this time. So, yeah. Needless to say, we're simply saying what needs to happen to Justin Bibb. He needs to be arrested. He needs to be removed from office. He may even need to get smacked by a uniformed officer at that point. Straight up, dude. Because that's the problem with these Democrats. They really need common sense, just, you know, right in the back of the head, man. So, and even then, that might not even work, you know. So, anyway. But, where is that right now? Oh, yeah. I wanted to mention this too. So, you want to talk about Democrat gaslighting, man? Like, holy hell, baby. Holy hell, baby. I got into it with some woman on Twitter last night. I usually don't do this anymore because, or if I do, I usually just say something and I'll block these people immediately because it's like not worth it to actually interact with them is what it is. Because they're always going to come back with something even dumber on the fucking return tweet and stuff like that. So you had this woman who was shit-talking Secretary of State Frank LaRose and stuff like that, claiming Ohio is failing state ranked 35 best. What do you have to say about that, Frank? Republicans love failing their people. I'm thinking they mean by schools and stuff like that. And I said, maybe that has to do with all the leftist teachers pushing trans BS instead of actually teaching students the basics like math, reading, etc. And this dumb bitch responded with, no, that's due to cutting public funding. No one is teaching that in school. Clearly you didn't pay attention in K-12. You're just a gaslighting cunt, lady. Like, seriously, you really are. You're fucking gaslighting, you're straight up lying, etc. And that's why I just called her ass out about 15 minutes ago on this whole thing, right before I started this whole episode. Actually, no, it was longer now. It was about an hour ago before I started this episode here, which I responded back and said, Actually, there's hundreds to thousands of examples of it being indoctrinated in the past 6 months alone, but keep on lying and gaslighting people. I'm sure some will believe your BS lies. And then I blocked her ass. Because again, there's no reason to actually interact after that, dude. You know, the way I look at it is I have the final say in the whole thing. So, but that's the entire problem with these leftists, dude. They'll straight up lie is what it is. And in a lot of cases, they'll lie because they're the ones doing it, actually. You know, in that case, it could be that woman being a teacher in the school systems and being the ones indoctrinating and stuff like that, and sitting there and, you know, pushing the garbage with the, you know, progressive pride flag in the classroom or the BLM flag in the classroom, which, by the way, again, and this goes back to something we talked about earlier in this episode with the whole separation of church and state thing that the left always loves to use, and they try to use in that issue 1 thing is what it was. Yet, meanwhile, they're doing the same exact thing in schools across the state of Ohio and across this country entirely when they're bringing forth BLM flags, you know, progressive pride flags, and all kinds of other pedo shit in the classroom. Or it's them pushing, you know, a whole indoctrination of, they'll have a bookshelf sitting on the side of the classroom there, and it's full of the books like, you know, queer fluid or what the fuck it's called there, or like, this book is gay, or all the other shit like that. That's basically, in a lot of the cases, those books, you know, the ones that DeSantis and all those people like that are banning now, whether it be DeSantis or DeWine here in Ohio or any other Republican governor here that's doing the same thing. These books give step-by-step guides of how to give BJs, dude. There's actual fucking photo evidence in the books themselves of one dude blowing another dude in at least one of those. And you wonder why they're banned, because they're fucking pornographic material, for God's sakes, dude. That's why we're sick and tired of this shit when you're sitting there pushing that stuff at kids 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old like my fucking niece. We're not going to have it, motherfuckers. We're going to fight you on that. We're going to fight you. We're going to push back on that. We're going to push you out of the fucking school system if it takes that. We're going to sue the shit out of you. Etc., etc. Enough is enough. We're sick of it. You know? And this comes from somebody, myself, as a bisexual man in this country. Like, I'm really willing to admit that, man. But yet these motherfuckers have pushed me to the point where I'm just like, fuck y'all, man. Seriously. Like, they have pushed and they have poked and they have prodded so hard. And why are they doing this? Why? They're doing it for the exact same reason why they're trying to call Sound of Freedom a QAnon conspiracy theory movie. Because they're actually on the side of fucking pedophiles in this country. Whether it be they're pedophiles themselves or whether it be that they are enabling others to commit child molestation. It doesn't matter. Either way, there are so many of these fucking people, and it's exactly why a little over a year ago, I said what I said that day. And I gave a factual fucking statement of the founding of this country. And oh my God, fucking Guns and Barbecue and all these other assholes lost their fucking minds over it. I stick by that fucking statement that I made that day. And I will stick by that forever. Because I am now to the point, over a year later, that I know for a fact I'm fucking right in this whole situation. And I have seen it for over a year now after the fact of it getting even worse and worse and worse. And these people are just fucking blind to it, man. Whether it be John, whether it be fucking G23, whether it be that piece of shit Barron, whether it be that motherfucker PNW Woods, etc. They are absolutely blinded to it. Or they're actually involved in it. Who the fuck knows? You know, I'm not sure about the last two that I mentioned there, obviously. Would I be surprised? Not really. So, I'm not going to throw on accusations of what it is, dude. Like those assholes did. But, yeah, needless to say, I'm sick and tired of it, dude. I'm here to fight. I'm here to fight for the kids, man. I'm here to fight for kids not being fucking genital mutilated. I'm here to fight for kids not being permanently fucking sterilized. And it's exactly why I am against that bullshit fucking abortion crap in November. That's also a backdoor sterilization of children amendment that's trying to be pushed in the Ohio Constitution right now. It's exactly why I want issue 1 to pass with a yes vote. Because I'll be damned if I let these fucking leftists win, dude. I will be damned if I let these people sterilize the next generation of fucking kids in this state and off the generation after that. Fuck that. And it's as simple as that. It's exactly why I will fight for gun rights as hard as I do. Because I actually know what the fuck is going on in this country. I know these people's endgame. Because I used to be one of them. Because I used to be a fucking Democrat voter, dude. I know what the leftist mindset is because I grew up in it. That's what people don't understand, dude. Many people just think I'm some right-wing guy. No, dude, I grew up hardcore fucking Democrat household. Voted Democrat by default the first couple times I could as an actual voter over the age 18. And I woke up to that shit in Obama's second term finally. And I realized just what a globalist sack of shit that motherfucker was. And what a piece of shit Biden is. And what a piece of shit the Democrat Party in general is. And what a bunch of fucking scumbags the goddamn rhinos are that have been career politicians every fucking day of their lives. This is the problem. There should be enforced term limits across the fucking board. From state house to federal. Mandatory maximums. You hit that threshold, you're done. Get the fuck out and don't come back. And that is the current problem with Ohio right now. We have both sides of the fucking House and Senate with term limits, yet all these assholes do is just break fucking terms by flipping to the other side. It's why we have that piece of shit Cecil Thomas, anti-gun fuckboy for MDA, over in the State House now instead of being in the State Senate again. He was termed out of the State Senate in 2022. Simply ran for office last November and got into the fucking State House by default. In a basically one-horse race in a district that, even if there was other people in the fucking race, he was going to beat them by like 3 or 4 to 1 margins because it's a Democrat hell pocket. And they have the votes there. It's the same thing with Allison Russo, dude. She runs in a fucking district that shouldn't exist in this state right now. Because the last 3 times she's gotten into office, it's all been in one-horse races. You know? And I'm pretty sure Weinstein got in there the same way, actually, last go-around. It was like just him and nobody else there to even square off against him. Or if it was somebody squaring off against him, it was like they got like 20% of the vote. He got like 80% of the vote there. I have to go look at that again. I'm not sure. I can't remember offhand. There's a lot of the ones that were, and I'm not saying it's just Democrats either, dude. There are entire Republican districts in this state right now that shouldn't exist right now. And again, if people on all sides of the fucking aisle would just come together and be like, hey, Ohio can do this. 1 county, 1 rep. 88 counties, 88 representatives in our state house. It could be done. We don't need 99 jackasses there. And we'd be better off as a state right now. You'd have true representation at that point. Because on top of that, with that 1 county, 1 rep, we would actually do away with the bullshit 2-party fucking primary system. You would have libertarians represented. You'd have Green Party represented. You'd have internet libertarians like myself represented in that thing. You'd have Constitutional Party. You would have all kinds of good. Hell, you could even have Democrats run as the fucking commie pieces of shit they are, or a fucking Marxist party, for God's sakes. You know? At least then they would be legitimately running as what they really are. They would be running as fucking Karl Marx proxies, for God's sakes. And we'd be better off as a country then. Because at least you could call them out on what the fuck they are is what it is, dude. And be like, why would we want some Marxist piece of shit or some socialist or whatever the case be in our fucking state house? Because that's what half the Democrats in state Ohio are right now. They're not actual, you know, by default Democrat Party line people. They are fucking hardcore. They have gone so far to the fucking left, moved the goalpost so far to the fucking left. They are basically Antifa. Hell, fucking Tavia Golonsky, she is a fucking BLM proxy, for God's sakes. She tried to defund the cops back in 2020. Tried to take away all kinds of non-lethal fucking gear from them, whether it be pepper spray, whether it be, non-lethal munitions like tear gas and stuff like that. And then sits there a year later and is like, I don't understand why there's so much uptick in violence in the state now. Same fucking bullshit with Bibb's ass. You fucking take away the non-lethal tools of these police officers. You know, the actual good cops that were on the forces at the time. You allow fucking BLM and Antifa to riot and fucking loot and murder and everything else like that all through 2020. And then you wonder why our country is in such a fucking shit show now, 3 years later. It's a direct fucking correlation to shit you assholes did 3 years ago. And that's why I'll call your fucking bitch asses out on it. It's just infuriating as hell, man. And the reason I call out Bibb specifically on that one is because he was a Cleveland City Councilman at the fucking time during the riots. And then he ran for mayor, and now he's fucking mayor of Cleveland. And now he's bitching about fucking state preemption and fucking, you know, oh, it's because of constitutional carry that all these mass shooters are happening in Cleveland. No, it's not, you fucking idiot. It's you being an ineffectual, bitch-ass, motherfucking piece of crap who has no business being a Cleveland mayor or any other position of power for that matter. And the fact that, going back to Bibb's crimes, by the way, before we end off this episode, this motherfucker, his first, like, week or two in office, what was the first couple things this asshole did? Spent over $30,000 fucking dollars on new tires for a vehicle that had tires that were less than 2 years old on it because he wanted some brand new blinged out rims for his fucking ride is what it was, dude, for Cleveland mayor. How is that not a fucking criminal offense immediately to be thrown out of office, dude? You're misusing taxpayer money. Sorry, excuse me. You're misusing taxpayer money for your own personal benefit, asshole. It's literally misuse of personal gain crime at that point, dude. It's the same bullshit that the Democrats and Rhinos have done for years now. You know, it's the same thing DeWine's ass did back in 2020 during the lockdowns when he got a PPP loan for a fucking minor league ball team he owns in Indiana, for God's sakes. That alone should have thrown him out of office for impeachment. He should have never been in the race for governor in 2022. It should have either been Jim Renacci or it should have been Ron Hood. That's who should be governor right now, really, honestly, is Ron Hood. Ron Hood would have been the best governor we could have had in the state right now, honestly, dude. Unfortunately, I think Hood's problem was him and Candace Keller got into that race way too fucking late. I voted for him in the primaries just because I think they were the best two-way ticket we could have had here. But yeah, they got in way too fucking late. And unfortunately, they cost themselves that race because of that. Sadly, had that retard Joe Blystone actually been arrested before the primaries and stuff like that, dude, all of his voter base could have essentially gone to Jim Renacci then, and you wouldn't have had a vote split, and you would have actually had DeWine get primary out of office then, because you would have had Jim Renacci as governor then. Am I going to sit here and say Renacci's any better than DeWine? I don't think he is, actually. I think he's a piece of shit, just like DeWine is, honestly. You know, he was for the lockdowns and stuff like that to begin with, and then he sat there like a year ago or so when he was running for governor and was all like, oh, but I'm actually against lockdowns. I'm actually against forced mandates and all this other shit. And it's like, dude, fucking tweet history, bro. We can find social media post history, dude, whether it be in Twitter tweets, whether it be in Facebook posts, etc., of you literally calling for more lockdowns, of you literally calling for more mask mandates, of more vaccine jabs, etc., there, dude. So don't sit here and try to tell me you're pro-medical freedom, asshole, because you're not, dude. Actually, when you look at Jim Renacci's whole entire how he got the money he has right now as a multimillionaire, it's basically from old folks' homes and stuff like that. He owns a bunch of old folks' homes, like I believe it's he has a big stake as well in multiple hospitals in the state is what it is then. So it's like old folks care facilities and like hospitals and stuff in the state of Ohio. So anyway. The 2A shirt actually came from our boy, Krabby Turtle. I wish it was a little bit bigger. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to find a bigger shirt for me because that's only, I think, a 2 or 3X, and I'm like a 5 to 6, actually. So, yeah, the one I have on right now, I believe, is a 6X. So, if this was a 6X, I'd be wearing it right now, honestly. But when I put it on, it's like real tight. I only wear it a couple times a year is what it is. Mostly for, things. I might wear the shirt, actually, come... what am I thinking now? About a month from now when I do my 4th anniversary of the Federal Swatting then. I'm also going to do, actually, I might do it for a couple things before that too, because I'm going to do here in a couple weeks, I think it's like 2 weeks from Friday, is the 4th anniversary of the Gilroy Garlic Festival massacre. So we're going to do a reading of names on that day for a Freedom Friday episode. And then we're going to do I believe it is a week from that. So it's either that Thursday or Friday would be the El Paso / Dayton massacre. So we'll be doing episodes on those days too. And we'll be doing reading names and stuff like that, the people that were murdered those days, and remembering who actually deserves to be remembered, not the pieces of shit gunman who, got taken down, got taken out, whatever the case be. Of course, El Paso was never killed. That motherfucker recently got charged with 90 life sentences, what it was. So we'll be doing those. Those will be all for the end of the month, early next month. We'll be doing those 3 episodes of Remembrance is what it is, for anniversary remembrance and stuff like that. And then we'll also do an update too, by the way, during that time period of exactly where various gun laws stand in every state right now that had those massacres in them. Because obviously Gilroy happened in California, which has gotten more anti-gun now. And then you had El Paso happen in Texas, which has since gone constitutional carry. And you've had Ohio since go constitutional carry as well. And we also have standard ground now too. I'm not sure if Texas had that before or after the El Paso massacre though. But either way, so we'll be doing those things, doing a little update there on that. And then the 12th of August, which is the day that I was federally swatted, we'll be doing a 4th anniversary episode on that day as well. And, discussing basically in the last 4 years what's really happened to me since then. And, basically what my mindset is right now, which is very much, constantly frayed. I'm going to say it like this right now, dude. It's in constant fraying. It's like, at any given time, I'm expecting another knock on the door, honestly, unfortunately, just because, fucking corrupt-ass Fed boys are going to be corrupt-ass Fed boys is what it is. So, that's why I got to do disclaimers on this episode and everything else like that. Just to be clear on things, dude. It's like, would I like to do this stuff? Yes. Am I going to do this stuff? No. So there you go, man. But that's what it is, man. And by that, I mean what I mentioned earlier about Bibb's ass. So, although I would like to see somebody do something to that motherfucker, honestly, dude. Mostly just arrest is what it'll be, When I say do something, that's what I mean, obviously. Like, just, turn him around, spin him around, throw some handcuffs on him, and drag his ass out is what it is then. So, just so we're all clear on that one. Just so we're all clear on that one, man. Not committing crimes here is what it is. But anyway. That being said, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. I'll be back here. Not sure. Today is what? Tuesday? Or no, Monday. So tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm trying to think now. I'm debating if I want to do a Wednesday show or not. I got some stuff I got to do on Wednesday. Probably Thursday. We'll do Buckshot Thursday for the first episode then. I plan on having Corey on that one, and if anybody else wanted to jump in the panel or whatever and just talk about 2A stuff or whatever, we'll basically be talking about 2A stuff is what it is, mostly just guns and, cool guns we may want, don't have money for, or various other things is what it is, and maybe just talk about some 2A stories of the day. Maybe I'll find a couple, good self-defense stories from the last week or two is what it is, and we'll discuss those is what it is then. So, and then obviously Friday we'll be doing Freedom Friday. So, I might do another Grandstand on Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. I'm debating. But other than that, that's where we're at for the day, though. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. It's way past time for Justin Bibb to be arrested and thrown out of office currently. And Cleveland get a new mayor is what it is. And the same thing across the board with all Democrat cities in the state of Ohio. And across this entire country, really, for that matter. So, anyway, till later. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.